The key to a successful dermaplane is holding the skin taut and not getting in too big of a hurry, especially in the early days when you are getting used to the technique of dermaplaning. I have been dermaplaning for well over 10 years, so I'm very comfortable with the dermaplaning technique, but that took time and it took practice, and different blades matter. So I use Dermaplane Pro. I use the 10D blades. They are the sharpest and they don't dull down very quickly unless you're holding the blade incorrectly. But they do have a blade, the 10R, I want to say. I do have a full review on blades. That would be better for a beginner esthetician doing this. I also get a lot of comments asking, why am I using oil or why am I doing it dry? It truly depends on your client's skin. So if they are extremely dry and dehydrated, if you don't use something like an oil to glide better, it's going to be a lot easier for you to nick the skin because it's going to grab to that dry skin really easily if you don't use an oil. So I almost always use an oil unless the person is more of a combination to oily skin type, then it's not typically necessary. I always at least use the Dermaplane Prep solution at the very least. This cuts down on the irritation of the skin because just like when you get a razor burn because you didn't use shaving cream or, something to hydrate the skin, it is going to be really irritating to the client's skin if you're not using something. And that's why I always use, at the bare minimum, the prep solution. But oftentimes, like I said, I use oil. Typically, I use grapeseed oil, and I use an organic, natural grapeseed oil, and that doesn't clog people's pores. Many times you can see my clients or patients are talking. Sometimes I do have to remind them in specific areas, hey, I need you not to talk, because again, the risk of nicking gets a lot easier to do. So right through here you can see I'm holding the skin really taut because if I didn't, it would be really easy to nick that skin if you don't have it stretched out and smooth. I have a lot of patients who are in their 40s, 50s, 60s. I even have 70-year-olds. And another common question I get is, how do you dermaplane safely over lines and wrinkles without cutting them? And it all goes back to holding that skin really taut. And when I go to dermaplane the mouth, the jawline, the chin, I typically tell the patient, this is the no talking zone. Now you can see this patient is talking, but I feel pretty comfortable with her. I've seen her for years. She knows not to move quickly. That's another thing you have to talk to your client or patient about, not making a sudden movement. And you have to be really careful, and you have to pay attention to their body language, because even with you warning them and saying that, I can't tell you how many times people will move suddenly anyway. They may fall asleep and jerk. You have to be on guard. You have to be prepared at any second for them to move so that you can move out of the way so that it does not hit the blade. That's probably the scariest part of dermaplaning, is having to be concerned with what the person is going to do on your table. Because if they make a sudden movement, sneeze, cough, fall asleep, and jerk, that's so much easier to nick their skin. I also get really close to the temples, the eye areas. But again, I've been doing this for a long time, so I'm very comfortable. And you can do these areas safely as long as you take a guess. Hold the skin tight. And I'm just amazed how many clients come to me and say, oh my gosh, you were so booked that I had to go see someone else. And I went to such and such spa and they didn't even do my whole face. Like, I hear it over and over. People have told me that a lot of other places, a lot of other providers do not dermaplane their whole face. They'll avoid the nose, they'll avoid the upper lip. It's like, these are places with skin, and all skin needs dermaplaned, because it's not just about the vellus hair, which if you look closely, you can see vellus hair even on the nose, even right beside the eyes on anybody. Not just someone who's hairy, so that's a myth. Everybody has little vellus hair, and it looks so much better if you're going to dermaplane any of the face if you do it all, because it's going to make it look more smooth. But also, that skin is dead and built up, and it needs to come off so that the person's products can absorb into the skin better. I would love to make more educational videos, especially for new estheticians, or maybe estheticians who just want to do more advanced techniques. Leave comments below any video requests you have, any questions that I can answer. I'm happy to do this. I really do love to teach, and I'm happy to do specific video requests. So if you're having trouble around the jawline, you want me to be more specific or show more detail, I am so happy to do that, but you have to let me know. So you can see the patient is no longer talking, even though she was before. And that's because my patients know, who see me regularly, this is the no talking zone. Not for any reason, do not talk. So what I ask them to do, in case, what if they do have to sneeze? What if they have an itch? What if? Let them know to gently, keyword gently, lift their hand, because I'm always aware of their body language. If I see their hand lift up, that's their signal to me to back away, so that they can sneeze, so that they can cough, so that they can whatever. Maybe they're just uncomfortable. I need to know that, but I need safety to be priority, obviously. So you can see she's just relaxing, being very still now. And it's not always easy to pick up in the video, but I'm holding the skin just super taut as I do this dermaplane around the chin, around the lip. Hey, I sometimes even ask my patients to open their mouth, which may sound weird, but that's to stretch the lip out more, and so I can get in the corners of the lips, because it would be so annoying to have a super smooth face, every hair is gone, but then you have little hairs in the corner of your mouth. I don't want my patient to have to tweeze that. I don't want them to even notice. I don't want them to think, oh, she missed a spot. I want them to look in the most magnifying mirror they have and be like, oh my gosh, she got every single thing off my face. And that's why I get so many regular patients returning to me. They all say, I have never had someone be this detail oriented. And that's how you have people return to you and not want to go somewhere else. They're going to be pre-booking with you because they know if they go to the other spa, only part of their face is going to get dermaplaned. I had one lady say they literally just touched parts of her face and did spot treatments and did it all in like 10 minutes. And I'm sorry, you cannot dermaplane a face in 10 minutes and do a good job. It's just not going to happen. The submental area is actually pretty easy to treat as long as you have them being still. The tricky part is going over the curve of the chin. And if someone has a very chiseled jawline, you have to just go very slow strokes, just very light. But don't be too afraid to do these areas. I hope you all found this video helpful, and thank you so much for watching. My name's Esthetician Trish McCarty, and give this a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss any more videos. Bye! Oh yeah, look at that glow. Nothing like a Dermaplane glow other than a halo glow. Very nice.